Caroline Diaz-Goncalves came to the United States as a child and was given Dreamer status. But after a traffic stop earlier this month, she was detained by ICE and brought to a detention center despite her being in the country legally, where she says she felt scared and alone. Diaz-Goncalves' arrest for a traffic stop is one of many that have raised questions about Trump's continued promises to prioritize detaining the worst of the worst.
The Department of Homeland Security will be required to detain all illegal aliens who have been arrested for theft, burglary, larceny, shoplifting, assaulting a police officer, murder, or any crime that results in death or serious injury.
We will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail.
Despite that, new internal ICE data obtained by NBC News has shown that ICE has arrested only 6% of known undocumented immigrants who have been convicted of homicide. And almost half of the people in custody have neither been convicted nor charged with any crime. Joining us now is Jose Antonio Vargas, founder and president of Define American and author of Dream America, Notes of an Undocumented Citizen. Jose Antonio, it's great to see you again. Thank you for coming to the weekend. The thing that jumped out at me, I mean, the entire story of Caroline Diaz-Goncalves is distressing, but the thing that jumped out at me is her dreamer status. We've watched for weeks, for months, ICE detaining people who are undocumented, and even some who are U.S. citizens, deporting them to El Salvador and third-party countries. But the thing that I've always been concerned about is, what about dreamers? And now here we have, at least in this case of Caroline Diaz-Goncalves, that she's a dreamer who got caught up in that. You're also a dreamer. How concerned are you that that is the next frontier in the president's drive at mass deportation?
Very, very concerned. Very, very concerned, because we have hundreds of thousands of dreamers across the country, not only enrolled in colleges, right, but are working professionals. People forget the DACA program that President Obama introduced in 2012 is what, 13 years old? So we have dreamers in all industries across the country. I'm trying to think right now. Maybe I'm up to like 30 people that I've been talking to this past week, of everyone just concerned. And I have to say, out of those 30, probably 24 or so, no, 27 have decided that they're going to leave the country. Doctors, engineers, accountants, right? One plumber. I think we need plumbers in this country. So it's just been incredibly distressing, the panic, the sheer panic. And mind you, let's remind people what happened with Caroline. Most states in America do not let undocumented people drive. Most states in America don't let us drive. So the first time we actually encounter, traffic violation in the Trump era, people can get arrested on a traffic stop. Like, for example, if you're in Florida, 900,000 undocumented people in the state of Florida. That's like the whole population of South Dakota. 1.4 million undocumented people in Texas. That's the size of, what, West Virginia? Like, this is what's happening in our country. And I think the sheer panic and the incoherence, the Supreme Court ruling yesterday, in this country, I think by the end of July, there's going to be 26 states where if you're an undocumented person and you give birth to somebody in this country, what is the citizenship of that child going to be? That's part of the panic that's happening.
One of the things that we've talked about on this show a lot is the fact that the American immigration system has been telling people to do certain things, and there will be something at the end of all of that, right? So that includes dreamers who gave a lot of information to the federal government, all of the information.
Addresses. I was in Chicago the first day that dreamers were applying for the DACA program. I will never forget this, at the pier. And I remember dreamers saying, should we trust the government? And then her friend said, but we want to work.
Yeah.
Right.
And now You have immigrants who are going to their court cases, right? They've been told to show up, that this is a part of their process, their cases, many of them being dismissed, so that when they walk out of that room, ICE agents can snatch them up and deport them. So this is, all of the promises that we've made to people as a country, follow these instructions and these rules. Once you're here, you will get some kind of status.
There is no due process. Now, mind you, a lot of activists criticize President Obama for being deporter-in-chief, but President Obama and the Obama administration, there was a sense of due process. When it comes to this, it's, you know, it's just chaos. It's utter chaos. And people keep telling us, get legal, follow the process. And the fact that people are arrested at the courthouse as they're following the process. I have to say, though, Eugene and Jonathan, when I think about this moment that we're in, I think Trump and Stephen Miller, hi, Stephen Miller, what they're doing is basically pushing the system at the very edge, to the very edge, and showing people just how broken the system is. We shouldn't have 12 million undocumented people in this country. There should be a process for those 12 million people to actually change their status and not be this illegal alien, this boogeyman in people's minds. Now, I don't know what Stephen Miller would do. Maybe we just take so much, we live in his head rent-free. And unfortunately, the cost of that are people's lives and families' lives.